how to soften your skin without losing any detail. Today, we're not talking about it, we're just doing it. Practically in Photoshop. What's up everybody, this is Sabir from Doubles Production and welcome back to another excited episode of this channel. This episode is Photoshop tutorial. We will talk about Photoshop, that how you can soften your skin in Photoshop without losing any texture, without losing any skin detail. Most of the people use portrait mode in the phones to soften their skins, but what happened in the result, it looked fake. Really fake. And the people say that this is editing. What are you doing with your photos? You are making yourself cartoonish. I'm also doing it. Yeah, of course. I'm doing it. That wasn't cool. Now on the screen there are two photos. You see the before and you see the after. Now if you look at the before photo in close-up, you will see many blemishes, the rough skin. Now if you look at the after photo in close-up, there are skill details in it and it looks real. Now be with me and come to tutorial that how to do that thing. Okay, so here we are in Photoshop CC 2018. You can go with any version of Photoshop, but do not use Photoshop 7.0. Most of the people are still using Photoshop 7.0. Come on bro, this is 2019. By the way, the method that I'm using for skin softening is called frequency separation. We will separate the face into two frequency, high frequency and low frequency, and then we will deal with the blemishes. So the first step that you have to do is you have to unlock your background layer. Just double click on it and hit OK. Now you have to create a new layer. Is you have to remove the big blemishes, the dark blemishes on the face, because we will extract the texture from the face and we will apply that texture again to the face. So for that I need a black and white effect. Just click on this button here and apply black and white. Now why I'm using this black and white effect, if I lower down the red color, you see the dark blemishes very clear. Now I can easily remove these blemishes. So let's do it. You can also go without black and white, but if you're using this technique, you will get every single blemish on the face. Now just click on the layer 1 and go to healing brush tool. You can go with the spot healing brush tool, but I recommend healing brush tool because it gives more freedom. Now when I click on the healing brush tool, you have to just remove out dark blemishes. Just lower down the size of the brush by using the bracket buttons in the keyboard, or you can also click on right mouse button and you can decrease down the size here. When I click on the blemish, it says that alt click to define the source point. So I have to give a target, I have to give a source point. Now to give a source point, you have to hold alt, click on the source point you want to interpolate on this area, on this point. Make sure that the layer 1 is selected. Now another important part, that when I just give a source point and click on the blemish, nothing happened. It's because if you look into the sample here, it's on current layer. So I have to make this current and below. What does it mean? That all the layers which is below the layer 1 will get affected by the healing brush tool. And if it is only on current layer, it will only affect the layer 1. And we know that layer 1 is empty, so how it will be affected by the healing brush tool. That's why I'm just moving into the current and below option to affect all the layers which are below the layer 1. So you have to give a source point and you have to remove those points. Simply hold alt, click and just give a point to remove that. Okay, so I want to remove all the black dots from the face. Okay, so there we go. I've just removed all the blemishes from the face. You see here, these are the black dots that I've removed from the face by using the healing brush tool. Now I have to hide out the black and white layer and you see what I've done. Now this isn't the end of the tutorial. What I need to do is I have to smooth out the face more and more. I have to separate the frequency of the image. To do that, you have to delete the black and white layer. I do not need it. And I want to merge these two layers. How to do that? Just click on the top layer and press Ctrl, Alt, Shift and E. and it will generate a new layer, which will be the combination of these two layers. What I need to do in the next step, that I have to separate this layer into two frequencies, high and low, as we talked about before. So I have to duplicate this layer by pressing Ctrl and J. Now when I press Ctrl J, it makes another copy of this image or this layer. What I need to do is I have to rename these two layers. The first layer must call high and the second layer must call low. So when you double click on the title here, it will give you the option of renaming. Name it low, and that's great. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I have to hide out the high layer. Now click on the low layer and just go to filter, blur and Gaussian blur. And why I'm applying the Gaussian blur? Because I have to hide out all the detail in the face. If I decrease it down to 0, you see there are details in the face, and I want to hide out these details because I will extract this skin texture and I will apply that again. So that's why I'm going to remove this texture from the face. So to do that, just increase the radius of the Gaussian blur. When you see disappearing the lines and the texture of the skin, that is the Gaussian blur amount that you should go with. Now in your case, it should be different, but for this photo it's about 2.7. so hit OK. Now we have a blur picture, right? But I'm going to visible high layer. You have to click on high, then go to image and apply image. When you click on apply image, there are a bunch of options. So what I need to do is I have to apply the low image, but the blending mode is subtract. I want to subtract all the detail from the face, from the picture, all the colors and all the things, but I need only the texture of the face or the photo. The scale must be 1 and the offset must be 128. Okay, now hit OK and you see I've got a texture of the skin. Now how to apply that? Just change the blending mode from normal to linear light, and there we go. We got the same picture as the original one. The texture is too much. I have to decrease the opacity. 78 is good. Now if you compare the original photo and this one, there will be no difference. Okay, so here we have the original photo and there we have frequency separated photo. Okay, that's great. If I hide the high frequency layer, I can do stuff around with low frequency layer and I can adjust this photo. Visible the high frequency layer, click on the low frequency layer and just go to mixer brush tool. In your case there should be different value, but in my case it's 50, 50, 50 and 80%. Now the most important part in softening is you have to look to the lightning. You see the light is from the left side and the right side is dark. If I apply the mixer brush tool from the left side to the right side, it will create problems. And what problem? That this side it will make it brighter. I do not want that. So what I have to do is I have to give that exact point where I want to edit. For example, if I need to edit this part of the face, I have to give this source point. So hold Alt, give a source point and start brushing. As I said before, for every single part you have to again and again define the source point. For this here, I have to define the source point. For this here, I have to define the source point because I need original result as in the photo. Now here in this part, I want this to be a little bit brighter. So what I should do is I have to give this source point and apply it here, and it will make it a little bit brighter. So there we go. I've just brushed around the whole image and you see before and after. Before and after. Pretty cool, huh? Now if there's some problem in the texture that you have extracted, for example, if you look at this photo, there's black dot here, there's black dot here, it's because of this high frequency separated layer. So how to solve that problem? You have to simply click on the high layer, just visible that high layer only by holding Alt and clicking on the visible button. It will visible only that layer which you want to. Increase the opacity to 100% and there we have black dot. Just go to the clone stamp tool, hold Alt and apply it there. So here's before and here's after. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any question about this video, just let me know in the comment section below and I'll try my best to answer you people. And don't forget to subscribe. You know, it only take 1 minute. Just hit subscribe, hit like button and share it with your friends. Yeah, share with your friends. That's it, and I will see you in the next video.
आदिप आप ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, just don't do that, मेरी बात सुनो.